And that you are worthy of these blessings and gifts that God wants to bestow upon us this year. So let's get started then with January. So January, like I said, is definitely a month of preparation. It's a month where we're just upgrading these little details to our routine that is going to lead us towards success, right? Because routine is so important. Your routine will determine your result, right? It's what you do day in and day out that will determine who you become years later and down the line of this year. So it's so important that we set up a great routine, set up a great system to follow this year from the very start. So I do now want to look into the tarot. Now, what tarot am I using today? My favorite of all time is the Botticelli deck. This is a beautiful deck from artwork of the Renaissance time by Andrea Botticelli himself. And I love to use this one on special occasions such as today. So let's get started. Let's get a little mini reading for January of 2023. And right away, oh my God, this is so synchronistic. When I got this deck and I opened it, right before I shuffled, because I did clear the deck, I had the Lovers card at the bottom, and now it's coming up again. And I know it was speaking loudly to me when I saw it. I was like, this is the energy of either January or this year. But I definitely do feel like at a whole year scale, this is a year of spiritual love where we are attracting true sacred love. And of course, it takes time for it to actually manifest in the physical reality. But this is something that is evolving right now, because we've been doing a lot of energetic work with this in the past years. And if many of you have been aware of what you want out of love and relationships, then if you're a spiritual person, then you obviously want to attract a spiritual connection, right? And if you're already in your older years and maybe you've already had experience with either dating or relationships, you're probably at the stage of your life where you're just looking for that one relationship already, right? You're not looking to date around or experiment, because you're wanting to settle down with who really is meant for you, right? Your other half. And this is what is coming this year for sure. I got this message multiple times and in multiple events as well. And I will actually also be premiering a special 2023 The Love Show episode. So that's coming in February for Valentine's Day. That's something of a project as well, just like the fashion show red carpet event that has been under works for 1 to 2 years already. And it's just been like just redoing, perfecting. And this is the year where this is going to be like the final one, where it is at its perfection. And I know that we're just tapping into a year scale, because I used to do that on a month to month. But I think that that's just like way too much work, right? And I think that tapping into the year's energy for those big events is more useful and more exciting as well. So that's something that I'm working on for February. And of course, the fashion show red carpet event, where I'm going to be tapping into the next decade, is also other very special event that I'm also preparing. There's a little bit of that campaign already that has been revealed. Just little sneak peeks. I am not quite sure when the actual event is going to take place, but I think that it's going to take place either January, or if not January, then perhaps like May time. So this is definitely also what this month is bringing, as we let go of anything that is not this Lover's card, true love, spiritual love, and being in love. As we take away all of that, including anything in life that we're not passionate about, like I started today's introduction, then that's what we're going to be attracting more of. True love, things we're passionate about, a life filled of love. That's a beautiful card for January. I also want to point out that this is a major arcana tarot card that's showing up for January as like the main theme. And it's the number 6 card, which does represent harmony, finally reaching this balance also in our relationships on all scales, all levels, right? Family, friends, lovers, one lover, right? That I mentioned at the beginning. And it's like this coming together, it's this sacred union that is under preparation, first spiritually, because this is a photograph or an artwork of 2 angels. It's not humans that are the lovers here, it's angels because they have angel wings. And the angels are beings from the spiritual realm. So this is a spiritual energetic bond that is slowly manifesting itself into reality. And this is all happening behind the scenes at a spiritual level. So that's very beautiful. I do want to get another card. Maybe we should just look at the bottom card because this just kind of caught my attention before. And it is the 3 of Wands. And this 3 of Wands is a beautiful feminine. She looks very fertile. And she is carrying something in her dress. And I feel it's fruit that she's picked up. So it's abundance. She knows how to grow something, right? Whether it's a masterpiece, whether it's her creativity, whether it's an actual baby as well, right? Because she is giving birth to something. The 3 of Wands also in the traditional tarot is a card of visualizing your future, like the 2 of Wands almost. But then the 3 of Wands is like that next step where you already kind of know what you want. You already know what you want, not kind of. You see, that's the difference between, you know, manifesting something that perhaps is not what you really then realize you want, is because you first started to manifest from a place that you weren't really sure and you were still kind of discovering what you wanted. And this is a month where we're discovering what we finally do want. And maybe that takes, you know, letting go of things that we thought we once wanted, but we don't want anymore, so that we can be that one step closer to achieving what we really do want. And this is the spiritual sacred love that is just irreplaceable as well. There's only one half to your soul, right? There's not a third. And this is the 3 of Wands. There's only 2. And you notice that in this 3 of Wands, there's 2 wands that are together and one of them that is apart. So there's something that perhaps, if there's been any 3s, like a trinity, yeah, but like if there's been any 3s in your life, there's one that's being pushed away. And you notice also that in this deck, the one that's alone is actually the one that is growing the fastest. It has leaves on top, whereas the other 2, you know, this could represent a connection that perhaps might not be healthy, might be codependent, might be toxic even. Hence, they don't grow anything because it's not coming from a nice space, right? And yet, sometimes working alone, you can get much more ahead if you're in that right energy. Because if you have no one by your side, this woman is alone. She's manifesting by herself, and she's growing at a fast pace now. She's more confident now because she's stepping in, and she is also confident being vulnerable. She's barefoot, and she has no fear because she has realized that whatever she's doing on her own is working. She's growing. She is multiplying, whereas other people who perhaps are either in groups, in teams, in partnerships that have not been maybe the best for their life, or even maybe serving them anymore, they're at a halt. They're kind of like at a block because it's just not this energy here that this beautiful woman, divine feminine, has. So that is a wonderful message for January. I do want to now jump into February. Let's get straight into it. I really went deep into January. And I know that I am showing up also at the end of January. So, you know, we're already at the end of it. But this is the bridge to February and then what's unraveling next. I do feel like, yeah, let's jump into February because January is like that last, almost walking away as well, right? That 3 of Wands is walking away from something. She's walking away from those 3 wands in a sense. Or maybe walking away from 2 wands and going towards hers. And into this new beginning, which is coming in February. And we got the 2 of Cups. what a beautiful, beautiful energy here. This is angelic, spiritually guided. It is a beautiful, pure kinship. And it is the match, the perfect match, the half to their soul, because it's the divine feminine and the divine masculine coming together. The red and the blue, right? It's the polar opposites, but coming together and fitting. It's complementing each other. All right, so this is for February, an emotionally new beginning. And it is very fulfilling because cups represent emotional fulfillment of the heart. It is heartfelt. It is something that we really desire also in our heart. And let's get some guidance then on this Two of Cups. How can we attract that? What's this energy also opening up in our lives? Again, the new soul contracts that I did mention in the intro. And look at this, we got the Venus card. This is a beautiful card because this is actually artwork that I do have in my fashion room, the Venus painting by Botticelli, and it is the World card. So this is also a new beginning that's going to be very liberating and vulnerable, but it's liberating because it's in this vulnerability that you get to be free. You get to be yourself, and you feel seen as well for who you really are inside, not what you represent on the outside, right? Even what you wear or how you are in the 3D world, because this woman is completely bare. She's naked, and she's like in her natural hair, probably wearing no makeup as well. And it's just her. It's absolutely her real her. And this is how she's being seen, and it's more beautiful than you can even see, right? You can't comprehend this beauty because she does represent beauty. Venus is the planet of beauty. And this is what's opening up in this little clamshell that perhaps she's been hiding. She's been perhaps alone, but she's very fertile. There's lots of leaves around. And this card that flew out is the Sun card, which does represent happiness, true joy, leadership, courage, all these beautiful emotions. And in this deck, it is a painting of baby Jesus in Mother Mary's hand. I've been doing a lot of work since 2022, mid-2022, and into the ending of mid-2023 has been all my Resurrection series at the Lightworker University, which are a series of motivational speeches and presentations and lectures on Jesus' resurrection and how this applies to our life, starting our life from anew, living a life of more passion, being reborn. And it's been very powerful, that series. It really has been the center of my projects, and it's been so illuminating. And this is what we're reaching because the sun also represents enlightenment. And this February, we're starting to get a little bit more of this. And this baby Jesus is hugging very kinshiply, very friendly, this other little boy there. And it's like this Mother Mary is like nurturing but also holding on to her baby Jesus, letting him know that he's safe. But she's there overlooking, you know, her baby. And this is all, we got the Wheel in reverse, which is the Fate card, the Destiny card. So again, there might be something, look, Two of Swords in the upright, that perhaps we're needing to battle. This is a spiritual battles that we have been undergoing, which I did do a lecture on this, the battles that our angels are fighting in the spiritual realms. And this is out of our control. This is all in the angels' control, and they're taking care of it. There's a lot of angels here. You see this little, in this Wheel card, which was in the reverse, the angel is on the top of this wheel, but again, it was in the reverse. So it almost can seem like even the dark might be winning, the dark forces, you know. And there's this battle. This is Jesus battling as well. Maybe his own demons, the temptations when he was at the top of the mountain in the book of Matthews, overcoming the devil. And this will be overcome. You know, this Two of Swords can represent many things. It can also represent a crossroads about maybe not knowing what path to take in life. This is a very hard decision as well for many people who are just starting on their spiritual journey. Maybe they're having that dark night and they're needing to choose a new life for themselves, because it's all about our own free will. It's by our own free will. It's not something that God chooses for us. You decide what kind of life you want to live, a spiritually rich life, or one that is not, that is in the dark. And so that's where a lot of people are coming into their fullest acknowledgement of. And the world's at our fingertips. When we are in the light, when we are in our true soul path, we can manifest anything that we want. That's a beauty. The King of Pentacles, abundance, even financial security, paradise, right? Heaven on earth, living our heaven on earth. And this is definitely, again, there's two sides that are showing up for February. There's a side of the collective that is fighting their demons, and there's the other side of the collective who have risen, who have now risen into their fullest potential. And now it's about just coming out into the light and being that leader for those who are struggling. Yeah, the emperor sitting on their throne, whether feminine or masculine. And we're holding that crystal ball and we're illuminating the collective with this. It's a beautiful energy for February. All right, let's tap into March of 2023. All right, so we begin with the Fool card. This is definitely the new beginning card. Letting go of that ego. You know, this man here is struggling. His head is twisted sideways, which again, of course, that's not possible, but it's metaphoric for the ego death, getting rid of that ego, that mask that you're wearing or presenting or faking in the world, and coming into your authentic self. It's the new beginning. It's letting go of anything. And interesting that also, you know, these are translated also in Spanish and Italian, and I believe French. And in Spanish, it says el loco, which means crazy. But the Fool card never represents that technically. But you do have to have that little bit of blind faith and even craziness to you to make you take that leap of faith, right? To make you risk it all for this new thing that's completely unknown. A lot of people, normal people, will call that crazy. But spiritually, that's sometimes what you need to do. And the spiritual term for that is surrender. Surrendering to the ego, to what you're fearful about, and just going for it. And this is the new beginning, the 0 point, when you're starting from scratch. So I do feel like January and February, we're letting go of a lot of things, especially January and more towards the end of January, that we are showing up for this event. I'm actually showing up for this event on the last weekend of January. There's been a lot of delays, but it's always for a reason, and it's because of all these little upgrades that have taken place, so that I'm sitting in this new energy that I'm really feeling this new year, and at least being able to tap more in depth into this year unraveling. And February is where like this purification is happening. That's what I always feel with February as well. It's a very purifying month of the year, and especially when it comes to love. And ironically, it's no coincidence that Valentine's Day is in February as well, and it's at the middle of February, where is like the peak of where perhaps we might be attracting new love situations as well, new soul contracts, soulmates. But then this March time is where we're taking that leap towards this new beginning. And wow, we got the Two of Wands now. Yes, this woman now, which is this feminine, she actually looks a little younger as well than she did in January, I believe, when it was the Three of Wands. She looks younger here. The other one looked a little bit more mature and fertile even. This one looks a little bit more carefree, youthful, playing with life, with the garden, jumping around in the trees. And she's happy. She's creative in her creative essence, in her most beautiful essence. And I feel like this is the return of innocence. So it's like the being reborn as well. If we're to tap into the Jesus energy and the resurrection theme, it's definitely, we're going to be feeling reborn by this March. So it's very good energy. And even our situations are going to be rebirth. And I feel like we need one more card for March. Wow, we got the Cupid's arrow. And it wasn't the upright when I got it. It's the Eight of Wands, so there's communication. There's Cupid's arrow, so maybe love communication, conversations, new potentials. Very, very infinite possibilities here. And our angels are the share of angels as well, which are the little baby romantic angels, are really working hard behind the scenes to bring more love, playfulness into our life and into our energetic aura. Beautiful energy for March. Let's tap into April of 2023. And right away, now we've got the Wheel of Fortune in the upright. The number 10 card of the major arcana, major completions by April to start this new beginning. So definitely we've cleaned up our karma. Probably took us 3 months as well, and it's perfect timing, right? January, February, March, and as we're in April, we're at the top of that wheel. We fulfilled out our karma and we're ready to start a new chapter and storybook to our life. I also noticed that this angel on the top is holding a branch of trees, of like plants, herbs that represents fertility, growth. There's something that we've been growing in our life, and she's wearing like yellow/gold. So it's definitely like we've reached this triumph also. It's like this victory. I'm seeing the victory card. Very powerful. And you know, in Italian, the word for the wheel is la ruta, which almost sounds like the route. It's the right route that we've been taking that has brought us to this point. And maybe we're also being rerouted. That's a very powerful one now. Rerouted in this wheel of life towards a new direction that's going to be much more abundant. That's very powerful, right? I'm sure nobody's interpreted this card that way, but that's what I'm seeing. And at the bottom, we got the 10 of chalices, which is the 10 of cups. Mother Mary here with now 3 children. They're a little older as well. And she's just a very nurturing energy, right? Mother Mary represents very pure, very loving, unconditional love as well. Let's get something more. And then one more, the 4 of chalices. The 4 of cups is she's got the finger of God here. She's got God's touch in her fingertips. And she has 2 cups here and 2 on the floor. We're probably, because of this new beginning, maybe even building back up is what I'm getting. Maybe our self-esteem, our confidence, our strength, our level. Maybe we're upgrading levels as well. This is 4 of chalices. And now we're looking ahead. And she looks very giving, right? Just like this Mother Mary energy here. Whereas traditionally the 4 of cups represents a man holding on to those cups, like very much greedy energy. But in this deck it's very different. It's almost like the opposite energy. She's just very giving. She's ready to also allow. She's receptive. That's the energy. Being receptive to these blessings. And they might be coming from 4 different corners is what I'm getting. 4 different areas of your life that maybe you didn't even think about. But it's about just sitting there and being receptive and surrendering. A beautiful energy for April. And it is the 4th month of the year. And let's just get one final card. And we got the Tower in the reverse. So this is a positive card, right? Because traditionally in the Tower, it's about destroying something, but we're actually just continuing to build from what we've been working on. It's not about destroying something that we were starting on. It's just about building off what we already have, right? And we do got the Temperance. So this is a perfect energy because it is about patience. Patience reaps growth in life. And that's how we continue to nourish ourselves, to even hydrate ourselves, right? Metaphorically, fill our cup up is through patience, perseverance, grace, and love. Beautiful energy. All right, so let's jump into the energy for May of 2023. Right away, we got the Four of Pentacles, and this is the greedy card. So this is the greedy card that I had in my mind's eye, not the Four of Cups. So again, I guess I probably said that for a reason, because now May time, we got the Four of Pentacles. And this Four of Pentacles, although he looks kind of like he's stealing something, right? He's running away, he's greedy. I feel like he's collecting his pentacles. And maybe it's like when you're gardening, maybe roses or any kind of fruit in your garden, you pick them up, you collect them, right? The hard work that you're reaping by May time. So this is a good omen and good energy for May. We are, because of it's our hard work, Seven of Pentacles, this woman is carrying heavy load. You see by her side, she has a boy next to her. But it can also be a spiritual angel. Angels helping us in the spiritual realms to carry the load and get ahead. This is a spiritual energy, a spiritual card, Seven of Pentacles. So we've not been working alone. Even if in the physical world you've been alone, you've not been working alone. You've been working with God, with his messengers, with our angels. And that is why we're getting ahead. We're able to move on eventually with time, in reaching a level of true mastery, right? Becoming elite on the spiritual journey. That takes time. It's not overnight. But this is all guided by God and his touch, the Hierophant card. The Hierophant card has many different meanings, but what I'm getting in today's message for me is that this is all spiritually guided. This is divine. This is holy as well. This is a holy mission that we've been working hard on. And this is greatly rewarded in this life and also in the afterlife, which is the kingdom of heaven. That is a presentation that I'm also preparing for, as after I finish the resurrection series and the aftermath, which is the after to the resurrection, because that's all the energy first for the first 6 months of 2023. And then what comes next, what I'm also preparing for, probably that presentation will take place around May, is the kingdom. And that's what I'm getting. There's a lot of like kingdom energy, is like we're moving the next level. And it's not about crying about the past anymore. Five of Wands. It's about letting go of everything that maybe didn't work out. Maybe you thought it was going to work out. But you know, we're in such a good place now that there's just no point in dwelling over the past, because we wouldn't be here if it weren't for the past either, right? So we're needing to be grateful for everything that transpired and the way that it transpired in our life. And realizing that we're only at the beginning as well of our journey. There's still a lot of steps ahead of us. Yeah, the Chariot, we're moving on, we're moving forward, and faster than we might think as well, to the finish line. I feel like after May, things are going to start to be quicker than what we've been experiencing this past year and the first 6 months of this year. And then it's going to start to unravel even quicker. And that's good, because it's just been long in the waiting already, right? We've probably been even kind of bored sitting waiting around for the next big thing, and you know, seeing when things are going to move forward. But I feel like by May time is a very good time, at the peak of spring as well, to start to blossom into not only our fullest potential, but our dreams becoming possible, a reality finally, and becoming this new self. This new self that has been under preparation for a very long time. And it is the number 8 card as well. The card of infinity, the card of our eternity, eternal life. It's a beautiful card. Alright, so we got the Ace of Swords at the bottom of that. This is the Victory card. It reminds me of the Excalibur sword, and how only one person can get a hold of that sword and be able to take it out of that trunk. And it's that chosen one that will be able to triumph. You see, this chosen one with the sword. How amazing is this? This man is holding this sword that only he had not only the DNA to be able to hold it and be victorious with it, but he also had the strength and conviction to make it happen. So this is a Victory card. This is a very beautiful energy for me. Lots of change has led us to this point. Number 5 card in the Major Arcana, 5th month of the year. And it's all been God's blessing, and under his protection as well. It's been divinely protected, orchestrated, and observed. It's been under God's vigilance. That's why it's been untouched, basically, whatever we've been working on, our projects, and hence why we've reached this victory. That's a beautiful, beautiful message for me. Let's jump into June of 2023. So what comes after this Chariot? What can we ask further about for this June? All right, so we got a couple messages here. I believe in January, we did get the Nine of Pentacles. This is something of a feeling of loss, that you feel you could have more pentacles, more in your life. Maybe you're not seeing all the blessings around you already, but there's a lot of pentacles as stepping stones here, right? To reach that ship, the ships that are coming for us. But this person is almost like depressed and sad, as if feeling a sense of loss. But it's been through this action, the Knight of Wands, or maybe someone or something coming for us, maybe from the ship, to save the day. I feel like that's a message. And almost to help us as well, maybe heal. There's an open book with this person. This person looks like this person's enlightened. A person almost like that is very spiritual, sacred, and has the ability to help. An older man as well. This is the Hermit. Okay, so definitely that's the first message that I got. And they're wearing the same robe. So this technically is the same person here. Okay, now let's go into this different story that I'm getting better now. The Nine of Pentacles, I feel like this is the January energy at the beginning of the year. But it's been through our action, the Nine of Wands, looking more into the spiritual journey, taking action towards our healing, going within. This is the Hermit card, which is where we reach enlightenment, and purification, which is the Star card here. The Star card is the card of purification, coming back to this enlightened state. And in this deck, it's three ladies coming together. So there might be three women together, very strong bond, very sacred, vulnerable with each other. But also through this hermit time that you've been learning and absorbing all this knowledge, you have been able to strengthen your bonds and get ahead in your life. The Knight of Wands, right? The Knight of Wands is a card of moving towards success, climbing the ladder, achievements, being goal-oriented as well, and being courageous, being the strong one maybe in the family that you need to be, to hold perhaps the family together. It's a very powerful message for June. And I feel like also through rituals is how we purify, of course, right? Let's get one more here. And we got the Ten of Pentacles. Yes, this will lead to a happy home, happy environment, happy family life. This is leading up towards our dream home. And remember, the dream home is not just what's on the outside and like the furniture, etc. It's also the vibration inside the home, right? And that's what we're perfecting. I feel like we've reached this perfection by June. And it's almost like a new life that we're living. It's a very beautiful energy. Let's go into July. Just wanted to keep it short for that. But this is a reunion. Three of Chalices now. Three of Cups. Maybe there's a healing process taking place in July. And a rebirthing. Again, kind of like the resurrection energy, which is already fulfilled, right? And so this is being reborn into your best self. And it's two angels helping this lady. And this lady surrendering to the healing that's taking place. The Three of Chalices might be matters of the heart, emotional situations, things that need to be really healed at a deep heart level. but it will be triumphant is what I'm getting, because it's through that belief and patience and trust in our angels that we will overcome any challenges. And that's what I'm feeling for July. It's like June, July is almost like together energy. That's what I'm feeling. And then maybe one more card here. All right, this is the Ace of Wands in reverse. So in this deck, this is the card where Archangel Raphael is showing up to Virgin Mary, telling her that she's about to give birth to baby Jesus, but it is in the reverse. Let me get some clarification for this. The Ace of Wands in reverse what I'm getting is that some initiative, or maybe something that you've begun, has probably something failed or has lacked to perhaps come to its fullest fruition. Because again, in the upright, this would represent creativity, a new beginning even, right? The birthing of something. But there's been like a mishap in that this July. But that's only because it's the redirection that we received. Maybe spiritual guidance that you received, like an internal nudge, an intuitive feeling by March, that something perhaps that you're in is not the right way or the right route for you. And again, this might not apply to everybody, but there is a Knight of Pentacles here. It's like there is this new other option opening, maybe a window of opportunity that I spoke about in that intro, that is going to be more abundant. This is the Eight of Chalices, the Eight of Cups, and it is divinely guided. And we're going to get this enlightenment by going within through this Hermit and making better decisions. So there's something that maybe these decisions that we got that Two of Swords in like February, right? And maybe there's something that you're undecided, but by July, you're going to know what to do and what not to do. And also what to get out of. If there's been something that has been started, but maybe didn't work out, you'll know what's for you and what's not. Let's just go into August. I feel like it's a little bit unknown for June, July. But, okay, now for August, we got the Hangman. So the Hangman is a powerful card as well. It is almost like a pause. It's the number 12 card in the Major Arcana. But it's also a very powerful card of surrender. Allowing the universe to take over. And maybe needing to think more, something, maybe about this new redirection. Let's get more clarity here about what you need to put your efforts towards, what you need to move forwards toward. The Chariot, the Seven of Pentacles, similar cards that we got before. The King of Wands. What do you want to invest in? Maybe that's your time, your energy, your efforts. And so we're needing to just take a little break by August. So it is the end of summer, so it's a perfect time to probably take a little holiday, a little time out is what I'm getting. Right before fall season, right? And we got the Two of Pentacles in the reverse. So this Two of Pentacles, and we got the Queen of Wands. This Virgin Mary looks very sorrowful right now. This is probably the card where she lost baby Jesus on the cross, right? When he was crucified. It's the after the resurrection. But he's ascended into a beautiful Son of God that he has always been, right? And so she has always been there, this Mother Mary. And this Two of Pentacles in the reverse, it's three little kids playing, but these little kids look almost mischievous. They don't really look like little angels here. If anything, they kind of look like little demons. And it's just like that's in the reverse. So anything that's been dark in our life has been swiped away, definitely by summer, by May. And, you know, now we're just maybe working hard towards something new, maybe new possibilities, new opportunities. And we might feel a little lonely is what I'm getting, because this Hangman is alone. We're being guided to go within, reflect on our life. But the results are going to be the Knave of Wands, the Page of Wands. It's going to be a new beginning, an offering also of some kind. And it might be even a younger energy as well, because this Mother Mary here looks older. This page, the pages are always young energy, young people as well, maybe a young man, or maybe just a childlike nature. But there's an offering coming in for support, for help. It's a very beautiful energy. And it's almost like they are kind of the perfect match as well, because they're wearing similar colors. And interesting, when I look at it my way, they're turning away from each other, but when I flip them, they're looking towards each other. You see, so there's been a looking away from what you thought probably was impossible. Maybe seeing the lack of it or seeing the negatives of it. But now, this August, we're being illuminated through that Hangman position that this is actually meant to be. And there's a coming together. This might be spiritual love related now as well. That's what I'm getting. Very powerful. Let's jump into September. September, we got the Strength card. This is the number 11 of the Major Arcana. Divine Feminine taming the Divine Masculine. The Divine Masculine here being represented by a lion, who's very aggressive here as well, very loud. But this Divine Feminine is very gentle. She's fertile. She almost looks pregnant as well. And she is the force, ironically, of the Divine Masculine, because even though the Divine Masculine is strong on the outside, on the inside he's actually very vulnerable. And it's the feminine who are the strong ones, because we are the mother energies. And as mothers, whether you're a mother now or not, you know, we have to be strong within, in character, not necessarily in the physical strength, because that's where the masculine comes in to protect us. But as feminines, we hold the relationship together as well, and we guide the Divine Masculine's actions, who sometimes might be impulsive, because they have so much energy within that might be misdirected as well, if directed by wrong energies, or they are wrong people or wrong situations. But it's this sacred Divine Feminine with the holiness towards her, the holiness to her, with her halo on top, that she will always guide the Divine Masculine towards the spiritual path. And I do feel like there is a powerful angelic force coming in September. September is also the month of Mother Mary, if you all didn't know, as well as May. So May and September are always very powerful months of purification. And I do feel like this holds a lot of messages for divine unions. And the Divine Masculine seeing the Divine Feminine for who she really is, and as the true Divine Feminine. Because again, we always know that there's a lot of, again, the battle between dark and light that's been happening. Like I said in my beginnings of the Resurrection series in January, February, and March, there's a 3-day presentation and lectures that is called Angels in Battle. And I feel like this is where the battles of darkness and light are really happening, first 3 months of the year. And that can even include masking, you know, who the light really is, and the dark representing themselves as light when they're really not, right? And we learn all about that in those lectures, the battle between God and the devil himself, right? And I feel like now this is the month where this is all being overcome. And now it's like this new powerful light force coming to the light and being the center of attention now. Four of Swords in reverse. Yes, letting go of deceptions, even past betrayals, and maybe seeing clearly for what it is as well, and not being in denial about it. But then not being angry about that as well. It's very important. When attracting a new beginning, you need to be willing to forgive. And again, that's also where A Course in Miracles comes in. Seeing all through love versus fear. and forgiving. And I think that that's the energy for September. Let's tap into October. All right, let's get some energies for October of 2023. First card that we got in the reverse is the Queen of Chalice. And this beautiful deck shows a woman writing out her heart, pouring out her feelings perhaps, and holding a cup and wearing a crown. But it is in the reverse. So what I'm getting is that perhaps we're still working as divine feminines on becoming this queen of our life, filling our emotional cup, being independent, and being able to fill that cup on our own, not depending on others. And what's going to help us with this and reach this place of finally being empowered and crowned is maybe journaling, writing, expression, right, of our gifts, creativity, through our projects. And this is what's going to fill up our solace time. And of course, overcoming devil's temptations, anything that's, also lustful in the material world. But it was in the reverse because this was in the reverse. So this is in the reverse, but probably it's in the upright. And let's get more energies here. We got the Moon card. Yeah, this is very relevant to this Queen of Cups. The Moon is going deep into our subconscious, into our intuition, heightening our intuition, going within. I do feel like we're going within this October. So this is a year where although we are coming out in social events and being part of the spiritual community, we're also spending a lot of time also in solitude, right? Because it's in this solitude where our angels come to us. We get the spiritual guidance. In the night as well is where we really get these deep messages, esoteric wisdom. And I feel like this is a year of just continuing to expand this world of the spiritual journey and just going even deeper and further, seeing how far we can go and get stronger because of it and be more empowered. That's a very beautiful energy. The Moon card is also a major arcana, so this is a main energy for October. Fall season for me is like the peak of the year for my School of Light, for teaching, for learning, for reading. So you can bet I'm going to be doing a lot of that. And, in the major arcana, this is the number 18 card. So that might hold significance. But yeah, I think that that's pretty much what I'm getting. And we got the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. So this is yet to manifest, whatever we're trying to manifest, which I feel like represents our dreams. It's under the works. And we're needing to go within, maybe hit the books again, journal, strategize maybe also in the night to get that higher wisdom to help us get that pentacle. But it's on the way. It's just not yet, right? So yeah, this is a month of creativity. She is holding a paintbrush, she has a violin there, a little musical instrument. She's tapping into creative rituals, sacred rituals, right? I do a lot of spirituality retreats, a lot of Sambo healing sessions with music, artwork, creativity. That's what's going to keep you in your feminine essence and in your highest vibration. And interesting that this is also the same woman wearing the orange dress and then uniting with a woman here wearing a green dress. And they're both holding this pentacle of abundance. So definitely this is creativity to the max. I feel like health and wellness practices are going to keep us also balanced. So definitely make sure to lead a balanced life between your spiritual life and then also being out in nature, taking care of your health and wellness to make sure that you are in alignment, right, spiritually. Let's tap into now what's after October is November. The second last month of the year. Okay, so now we got the Ace of Pentacles in the upright. So this might be the month now where we're reaping those benefits. This is harvest month at its fullest, right? This is the month of Thanksgiving. And no more Hermit. We got the Hermit in reverse. So we're coming out of Hermit mode. And maybe now we're celebrating. Of course, this is the holidays. And I always do even more special events towards November and December to get even closer, more specific energies for the holidays. But I do feel like this is a celebratory energy, a month of celebration, coming out, celebrating. There was the King of Wands and the Three of Wands, which did show up at the beginning of the year. So maybe we're moving towards this King of Wands. And interesting that if you look at it like this, she is moving towards this King. So there's something here about the King here, energy. Maybe someone in your life that is going to help. And we got the Queen of Wands now in the upright. We got this earlier before, right, in summer in the reverse, and now we're finally at this queen mode. We're feeling like a queen. We're empowered. We're coming out of Hermit. We're feeling social. We're coming together with community, like-minded souls, and sharing our experiences. That's a beautiful energy for November. Very beautiful. Let's tap into now, last but certainly not least, December. Alright, so we got the Knave of Swords, and I did see this card. This Knave of Swords is, again, also a Page of Swords. Some form of intellectual communication, maybe some kind of business contracts I'm getting as well. Very intellectual, business-oriented, maybe business partnerships. So related to career, maybe spiritual mission. And very genuine. Look, this is the King again showing up, the King of Wands. Definitely there's like this offering coming in. A genuine offering, and there's the King of Pentacles at the bottom. So this is definitely an offering related to your finance, for business, working together, stepping up the next level. But it's also the growth that we've undergone. We've gone also from a page to a King of Wands, kind of knowing what we want and going after it. Very determined, very leadership, very courageous, very tapping also into our own masculine energy, and finally reaching that abundant, that pentacle, which is the fruition of what we worked for. So it can have double meanings. So that's a very beautiful energy. And then one final for December. All right. Knight of Wands, full throttle action towards, again, the new year as well. Eight of Chalices, we got this before. This is divinely guided. We are enlightened. It's almost like a monk. And the Nine of Pentacles that showed up again also in January. I feel like now it's overcome that. And now we're moving forward now towards a new ship, a new beginning, a new chapter, a new program. This is the end of the year, remember. And we're about to start January. Working maybe again, starting from another energy, but starting from the beginning again. Because when you start a new program, when you start a new chapter, it's starting again, right? This could be anything in your life. It doesn't only have to be a project. It could be a new relationship. Maybe finally that's been unraveling throughout the year. Finally manifesting at the end of the year. And then, of course, coming together in the next year. Maybe like officially or like an official commitment. Yeah, this is what we've been praying for. This is our answers to our prayers. And God filling up our cups, our rewards. All right, my soul family. So that is the conclusion of our 2023 month-by-month overview. I am so excited what this year is going to bring. I see only but positive things, blessings, surprises unraveling as well as little miracles in this life. And these little miracles we need to be grateful for. We need to be appreciative and we need to be receptive because I feel like it's coming out of the blue. We have no idea. So it's about letting go of expectations and allowing the universe to reward us, to surprise us, and being grateful for what does show up for us, right? Not dwelling, again, also like that Nine of Pentacles that kept showing up. It's not about dwelling on what doesn't show up because that's a waste of energy, right? And that's almost like a sense of ingratitude for what is showing up to our life and what is really meant for our destiny and fate aligning for us. I feel like the stars are aligning this year for what's really meant to be. You know, A Course in Miracles, when I think of A Course in Miracles, if you've seen my new trailer, it's about comets. It's about the Milky Way, the galaxy with all these beautiful stars. And ironically, also in astronomy, there has been a comet at the start of this year entering Earth. And the Earth has been shifting its core on the reverse. It's been reversed. So this is like the big holy shift that's been happening since the beginning of this year. And I'm going to tie this in now to kind of conclude today's event into what the fashion show red carpet event is going to bring, which is tapping into the next decade. Because this next decade, the reason why I decided to make that show about the next decade, which I know is a lot of years, is because it's a new era that we're stepping into. And even though we're already technically in the Aquarian age, it's this new golden era that's finally really come to its real beginning, I want to say, because there's just been a lot of preparation still, lots of new people waking up, coming and joining into this like little group, you can say, into this new age, this new world, this new earth that's been splitting apart from the old earth, the old vibration, the old paradigm. And it's taken years, right? Because this split of the earth has really completely manifested since 2012, and last year was 2022, so it's been like 10 years in the making. So it's not something that's overnight. And I feel like now in the year 2023, after this 10-year mark and anniversary of the split of the earth, it's like now we're all coming together with new and old people alike. Doesn't matter how many years you've been on the journey, but a lot of these new people, including myself, because I'm only kind of like 3 years old into the spiritual journey, you want to say, we've been like accelerated in our knowledge about the spiritual journey so that we are able to come together with everybody that's been on the spiritual journey for a long time as well, and able to do the great work that needs to get done. And this great work is the mission work. It's work that requires collaboration, because we're trying to build a legacy, we're trying to make history, and we're trying to make new history. Some things that have not been done before, things that have not been done before, new things. And we're being enlightened about what these new things are. We're being also crafted, I want to say, and molded into what we need to be in order to be able to get these things done. So it's all been a process, and this process is finally manifesting this year and into the next year, even 2024, and then of course into the next decade. And the next decade, I feel, is going to be more solid. It's going to have more stability than this year. I feel like this year is still a year of changes. It's the holy shift year, so nothing is stable, nothing is solid in stone yet. So whatever you are in your life, it's not solid in stone. There's going to be a lot of moving. There's going to be a lot of shifting in relationships, all areas and all relationships in our life. That includes dynamics, paradigms, things that are going to take us by surprise, and a lot of things we might not have expected, but this is part of the surprise. Again, I'm getting that big word, surprise, and miracles. Miracles always are surprises, right? But they are, at the end of the day, a form of an answer to our prayer. So that's why we need to be grateful for it, because if things don't look the way that we expected or thought that it would, or maybe you're having a specific prayer, that's why every time I tell people to make their wishes or ask something to God in their prayers, I always tell them to ask without a specificity to it, right? Not having a face to a relationship, maybe. Like if you're wanting to manifest a true love partnership, don't have a face to it, because it might not be even that person that you expect. It might be something or someone else. Or maybe a dynamic in your life. Maybe you're wanting something specific, but maybe there's a better option. Or maybe God has a better way of fulfilling out your prayer, the answer to your prayer. So that's where we need to be receptive, open-minded, open-hearted, and just surrender to the result. And that's how I'm going to conclude today's event. Thank you all for participating and joining and watching and being here with me on this beautiful winter cozy evening. Namaste.